We have 34 already.
All right, guys. What's going on? Fanatic Perspective. John Tran. Got Matthew McCullough here, our producer. You know it's bad when we got to bring the people from behind the camera. You know it's bad when we got to bring the people from behind the camera on set because we got to. It's all hands on deck at this point, addressing this football program. Y'all let me know, make sure our sound is okay. I'm going to mute real quick.
I'm trying to listen.
Okay, I'm going to mute real quick.
I don't hear anything. Yeah, nothing's fine.
Yeah, because I muted. Go back.
Still don't hear shit.
No,
I don't hear shit.
all right, I'm on mute. Hey, can y'all hear me okay? They're saying they can hear us fine. We're good, right? Sounds good. No echo or anything. Loud and clear.
Yes.
All right, cool. We'll get into it then. I'm gonna trust you on the sound check. If it sounds shitty afterwards, there's no echo. It says no echo. If it sounds shitty afterwards, I'm gonna get on y'all. But yeah, I appreciate you guys on here. We also got a student perspective here, Matthew, who is our producer. We brought him on the camera. He used to be a student at Baylor, so we want to get his thoughts on everything as well. Buddy said, check your blood pressure. Mine is through the roof. And then we got my man Bruce, frauds, not my taxes. So yeah, we're drinking. Tran's got an adult beverage here. Tran, brother, you go ahead and start off, man. I'm going to let you open. Actually, before I let you open, we got to do our Boss's Ranch because our lovely sponsors and guys, these guys are taking care of us, and we want to take care of them. I'm glad to be partnering with Boss's Ranch. You can find them at your local HEB in the cold produce, and they are a reliable product, unlike our football franchise right now. And it's unfortunate that we have to deal with this. But Tran, go into your thoughts, just where you're at right now.
I mean, it's laughable. I mean, that's where it is. They just weren't prepared. They weren't focused. The defense didn't actually look that bad, which is pretty sad
because 7 points in the
they
first
showed up to play. Overshown's going to be a stud. We know we have our linebacker crew locked down for next season. But, I mean, you're playing an in-state rival and you just didn't show up. The thing that pisses me off the most is the fact that the O-line got owned the whole game. They got owned by a 3-man front the whole game, and then you keep getting these post-play penalties. Like, shut up, man! You guys got beat. Your manhood got taken during that, and that's the only thing that really frustrates me the most. You know, but I kind of figured we were going to lose, but I thought we were going to play a little bit closer game.
Yeah, and I think we all picked Baylor. We were talking before, Matthew. You were saying, Baylor, and I picked Baylor, and those of you who were there for our live stream preview, I said, I'm picking Baylor predominantly because I'm worried about our offensive line against Baylor's, defensive front, and not only, but I didn't think we were going to get our ass whooped like that. I thought they were going to be better than us. I thought Lynch would get his. He more than got his. Yeah. What is frustrating is when you start to throw the temper tantrums afterwards, right? Like on top of getting your tail whooped. Now all of a sudden we have the post-snap things. We have a player in Parker Braun who literally left the game. Like, I don't know. Matthew, what's going on here, man? Jason, we are not drunk. Jason comes every time we have a freaking beverage on here, he was like, we're drunk. But I don't know. I want to kind of go through there. Matthew, what are you thinking right now, man?
I saw someone said hire Matt Campbell. Like someone commented that earlier. It went through the feed already, but I think that's not the solution to our problem. I think getting new coordinators, maybe not defensive coordinator, but Tim Beck or whoever. I guess Tom's calling the plays right now, but getting an actual offensive coordinator, because what we're doing is clearly not working. Our run game is atrocious, minus the breakaway run by Keontae Ingram for 68 yards. What else did we have to show for? Sam couldn't really do anything with his legs. I mean, he got a couple good first downs, but besides that, we didn't have, like, I feel like last year we had a lot where, like, just looking at the Oklahoma game, like, you saw Sam, like, running up to the guy into the end zone, like, 3 times against OU. So, like, I don't, like, he just doesn't do that this year, I guess. I don't know. It's just, like, it's frustrating.
Yeah, I mean, and Sam took some big hits today, and I had even tweeted during the game. You know, it seemed like it was ironic because at the point I tweeted, I was like, Sam, you know, Baylor has no problem giving him punishment, and then we were letting Charlie Brewer just lolly dolly all around until they didn't.
Fourth quarter.
And I hope Charlie, you know, I hope he can go get through concussion protocol and get healthy. But when we look at this staff, they were not prepared offensively. Not only, I mean, it was egregious. Some of the personnel groupings we saw, the missed blocks, the missed assignments by some of the tight ends. You know, you see the play with Parker Braun where he's in space and he doesn't even, it looks like he
touched him on the shoulder.
He just touched the guy on the shoulder and he goes and obliterates your quarterback, right? Like, those things cannot happen at Texas. They can't happen if you're a Division I football program, period, right? And if you're a starting caliber offensive lineman, getting exposed like that is unacceptable. Yeah, Keontae got hurt.
Jordan S. He said Herman is not the guy. Changing coordinators and position coaches over the offseason is just like putting lipstick on a pig. And then someone said nice beard, and then we have 8 total 5 stars. I saw those. Those were pretty funny. I mean, we've talked about it. Stars don't necessarily. Look at Baker Mayfield. He's a 3-star. We didn't. It doesn't necessarily equate to success. Gary Gilbert.
But somebody had asked us earlier in the week if CeeDee Lamb had come to Texas, would he be a first-round pick like he's going to be in this upcoming draft? And we all said no. That's the problem. Mm-hmm. It's not the players. Because it doesn't matter. Like, people come here, and for whatever, like, look at Devin Duvernay, for example. And I feel so bad for Devin. A, he's not a Blitnikoff guy, which he should have been. And then B, it's like, we spend 3 years, we don't even know how to utilize you. And in the year we do know how to utilize you, the team can't catch up. Right, and I have been saying all along, we've been waiting on Devin Duvernay to break out. We all know how talented he is. Mm-hmm. Now it's to the point where everybody else knows how good he is, and they bracket his ass all day. And now they make us play chess because Colin Johnson can't play. So now it's like, hey, beat me with Brent Eagles, beat me with Epps, beat me with Washington or whoever else is in the game. Right? We don't throw to our tight ends. Bill tweeted and was like, we haven't thrown the ball to a tight end since Cade Brewer left, but we're out here trotting out, 11 personnel every play. So what's the point, Trent?
There is no point. I mean, they're supposed to be there to block, but they're not developed enough to block, and they're not. I don't think they're strong enough to handle that pressure over and over again. Someone asked if it was our choice, who would we fire? It all depends on who we have as a list for a hire. That's a huge point.
I'll start. I'm done. I'm done with the Tim Beck thing. I do think they need to revamp offensively. Look, I'm in the minority. I'm still in on Todd Orlando personally.
He's made changes throughout the season.
He has made changes and adjustments. I do think Overshawn in this defense will be a star. I'm concerned about how often people get hurt on the defense, and I think they need higher caliber defensive linemen. Malcolm Roach, I'm ready to move on from that personally. Even Taquan Graham.
Let's talk about Malcolm Roach. So, I did feel a little bit bad for him after him having that interview and him coming forward, and he was extremely distraught about him jumping off sides last week. What happened today?
4th and 5.
Don't you think you learned from that?
4th and 5 and Taquan Graham jumps off sides.
He did it too. It wasn't just Taquan Graham though, but he did it as well.
That's inexcusable, man. Like, you lost a football game, or you lost an opportunity to win a football game, because the guy did miss the field goal. But you lost an opportunity to win a football game off of something that crucial, and the lack of discipline. When you're since this staff has been in place, since Tom Herman has been here at Texas, and y'all can correct me if I'm wrong, we're the most penalized team in the conference.
Yes. Yep.
Right? And y'all can talk about this too. But it's just frustrating.
Yes.
when on top of that, you know, you don't see them make adjustments. If they do make adjustments, they're so late to the party with things. And it's just things that we as fans watching this football team can call out. You don't think Matt Rule sees that shit?
Took advantage of it.
You don't think Phil Snow is seeing that? Phil Snow ate Tom Herman's lunch today.
Mm-hmm.
Goodness gracious, man. Look at Bernard. Bernard's out there playing with a club. And I know he missed the safety on Sam in the end zone, and Sam made some plays today. But overall, I mean, his fire has been taken away.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like so. I don't know. Let's get into it.
Of course it has. They even asked him, "Hey, what's wrong with the offense?" And his answer was,
I don't. Yeah.
"I have no idea."
Tom is not the answer. Cut big. Cut it out.
No, they are wasting Sam.
Yeah, they are.
They are wasting Sam, and it's sad.
Quarterback.
It's sad because we don't have Tom Herman will not have time to groom another quarterback to get to
Jared. So Jared on IG, and I appreciate you, man. You always stay in good contact with us. Said, I do not want Orlando gone. I have faith in him.
Mm-hmm.
Our defense, despite the injuries, has held up their end of the bargain. These games could have gotten real ugly if it wasn't for the defense. And so to Jared's point, man, what is one of the reoccurring things I've said on this channel? They do not capitalize off turnovers. And we struggle to consistently play complementary football. What do we open the game with? We open the game with a fumble, right? We get a fumble, we get a turnover. I know it was a big play, but defense gets the ball out. Offense comes down. They move it a little bit, but they don't get points.
Yep.
And that's been a reoccurring thing, and that's momentum. And now Baylor gets to play a little field position, and then they ultimately do get a touchdown on a short field. How that's not a point of emphasis is beyond me at this point, Trey. Let's see. Offense is terrible. Yeah, I know, Nathan. I know. And I appreciate you guys on here. Make sure y'all smash that like button, those of you who are in here. I only see 5 likes right now.
We did see
162 people in the chat.
We
smash the like button.
Alex, we did see. We made sure to jump on this after we watched Herman's press conference.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he looked. There looked like there was a lot of anger behind his eyes, and he definitely knew that there was a whole. And I think it's mostly pointed towards the offensive line.
See that one? His mouth, Fred.
So that was funny.
That was.
To Trent's point about the press conference, because let's talk about that.
Yeah.
He was angry. This is probably the angriest we've seen Tom because he got embarrassed.
Yeah.
I think today. And we've had, like, Iowa State, and the Iowa State fans came at me because I used the word embarrassed. I was embarrassed on how we played, not embarrassed to lose to Iowa State. Very respectable team. However, today, Baylor physically embarrassed Texas.
Yep.
Period.
Texas did not belong on the same field as Baylor.
And Tom Herman, for a program, what's been coming out of his mouth for the last 2 years is preaching physicality, preaching their training, how hard they work, how hard winning is, how good we practice, all that. And they got their ass whooped. And the people that were getting their ass whooped on the offensive line started to throw a tantrum. Mm-hmm. And you have a guy, I don't care what you say, when you walk off, you're quitting on your teammates. Period. I don't care if we're down 50-0. You can't leave us.
And if I'm an NFL GM, I'm not taking that guy on my team. That's not the type of players that NFL players want. They want people there that are professional, regardless
of win or lose. And we all hate losing. And I'm a sore loser. I don't take losing well, but I would never walk away on you. No, especially the people on the line, man. That's not right. And Zach Shackelford got his ass whooped all day. He didn't leave the game because people were reporting, oh, he got ejected, but it's just like normally when somebody gets ejected, what does the referee do?
No, the ref announces it. It's announced over the PA system and everything like that. And in the press conference, I think Tom said that the ref said he's gone for one play, which is bullshit. They never say that. They never say he's out for one play unless his helmet is taken off, which is in the rule books. That the refs can't.
Cliff, thank you for the donation. Cliff Sims, appreciate the donation, man. I mean, it sucks that we have to have this conversation under crappy circumstances. But those of you who have been smashing the like button, please make sure to do so. We want to make sure this content is spread all over. Yeah, man. No, appreciate you guys.
who would I pick over Chad Morris or Graham
I
Harrell
saw that earlier.
as a OC? I'd pick Chad Morris because it would make Tom have to give up the reins because that's his
He
quote
hates
unquote
Chad Morris, though.
nemesis. Yeah. Whatever. So
But at
what?
this point-
Who cares? Look, if I hated you and we're still winning games because your thought process on the offense is working, enemy, you don't have to be best friends.
I don't know the backstory.
This is a professional industry right
That's
here.
true.
This is not. Hey, just because you're my friend, I'm hiring you.
And it can't be that because
thought process.
Well, because that's to your point. That's how our staff is constructed.
Yeah.
It's all people that he has relationships with.
Yeah, he loves. Not only that, he said he was going to hire the best staff. Sorry. I mean, the best staff may not be your best friends.
Hey, Connor, I'm gonna hit you up on Twitter, man. I haven't forgot about you, man. Thanks for joining the chat. I'll send you my phone number so we can text.
I'm so happy we went undefeated and going to the national championship.
Does any blame fall on Sam? Sam's not playing great, and I think he'll be the first to tell you that. I think he has a high expectation level for himself.
Of course.
He's missed some throws, he's missed some reads, but he has to be perfect for us to even be competitive at this point. And it's just, he's not. What is Sam working with? I know he has weapons.
So the thing with it is he has the one person that he trusts on the team wholeheartedly is Devin Duvernay. The other person he trusts is not playing. So the Colin Johnson thing is very strange to me because I haven't seen enough tape for him if I'm an NFL GM to say, hey, that guy's a starting wide receiver in the NFL. I haven't seen that.
Yeah.
And I'm hoping that this injury is a legit injury and he's just not holding himself out to further injure himself. Because I mean you see his history, his brother's history. I get that might be in the back part of your mind, but what was the point of you coming back for your senior season then? I mean, you brought that point up.
So I watched the game. I was, what would have done, it may have done more good for both Colin Johnson and the University of Texas if he had declared early at this point. Because we would have at least had to learn how to build this offense around other folks, whether it's Marcus Washington, Malcolm Epps, whoever else you want at that position. But every week it's like we're going to these games. Is he going to play? Is he not going to play? And the hamstring issue, we don't know all the severity of it. Dan Neal in the Longhorn, those of you who are asking if we watched the press conference, Dan Neal is alluding to guys maybe worrying more about future stock, future opportunities versus giving it all for the team. I'm not trying to insinuate that about Colin, but there's some of that energy out there. May not even be talking about Colin, maybe talking about other guys. I don't know. Or trying to save their bodies for next season. But it's frustrating because this offense is clearly different, and Sam Ehlinger is different when Colin Johnson's not on the field.
Mm-hmm.
It's visible
when he has that second option. I mean, like we said earlier, I think his offense just clicks a lot better when Sam has that experience and that trust with more than one receiver, because the defense now can tie off directly onto Devin Duvernay. Devin Duvernay still had a great game when he has man coverage and then also someone shading him as well. Less shading over the top.
But Baylor in the context of the game neutralized him a lot.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, he caught that one ball, like he said, I think it was like cover 3, where he was able to kind of get it to the sideline. But Matthew, I mean, just in terms of your, around campus and whatnot, what's the frustration from a student perspective? You go to every game.
Mm-hmm.
You're also a big ticket person as well.
I got a big ticket.
Yeah,
I'm a Longhorn Foundation member, so I get priority gate entry, so I can get there almost 4 hours early, which I've done. I did that for the LSU game, even though it was 102 degrees outside, and I was sweating my butt off. I was so more justice. And I went to college game day. I woke up at 11:50 p.m., so almost midnight, and waited from about midnight until 9 or 10 a.m. and went through the whole thing. And I gave my heart and soul as a student and as a football fan. And I think it's more disappointing because last year we had such a good season in such a long time. 10-4 is that was our first 10-win season in 10 years.
Mm-hmm.
So like because I transferred, like you said, I was at Baylor, so I'll get to that in a second. But as a freshman, like at Baylor, I'll get to this thing. But as a sophomore at UT, we went 10-4, right? We went 7-2 in the Big 12. Our only losses were West Virginia and Oklahoma State. We beat OU the first time and lost in the ship. That was huge. We played great. Our offense was amazing. Our defense was, for the most part, pretty
And
solid.
you were at Baylor when they were 1-0.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and I'll get to that. So, but the expectation going into the season was either a Big 12 championship title run, either that or at least that, and going into the college football playoff and being like the 3 or 4 seed. So the fact that we haven't even lived up to the Big 12 title, we haven't lived up to our floor, let alone our ceiling, but our floor. That's why I think everyone's disappointed. That's why I'm disappointed. I go to the game and I have to sweat it out against Kansas on a winning field goal, and then Kansas State on a winning field goal. Like, that's ridiculous. We shouldn't have to do that. Like, that's not what Texas should be. Or, like, we've had top 5 recruiting classes all these years. The fact that we haven't developed, like, anyone into, like, a 10, 11-win season constantly, there's no excuse. We have so many resources here to where we should build off a 10-4 season and not regress to 6-5. If you had told me at the beginning of this year, if you told me at the beginning of this year that we were going to be 6-5 with 1 game left in the season, I'd be like, that's a joke. No, we're going to be at least 9-3, 10-2 range at the end of the year. Heading into that, maybe 10-1 right now, losing to LSU or OU. I'd be like, yeah, that makes sense, but not 6-5. There's no way. But it's like,
who is hold on?
I don't know
I
who
want to
it's-
recognize one of our donated. Texas Fight 210.
thank you.
You said the stubbornness is real. The offense needs an adrenaline shot to the chest. No creativity. At least the Spurs are whooping butt. Go Spurs, go.
Yeah.
Although I'm in tank season.
Tank, Spurs, tank. It's something.
And I said, go on, man.
Yeah, man. No, I appreciate your passion, man.
Yeah.
And that's why you work with us. You know, he's actually been a part of Fanatic Perspective for a while behind the scenes. So, but even watching the game, you were like, you know what, man, I'm tired of this, and we're all. But I picked Texas to lose, and a lot, but because I also have a football, and I have a lot of respect for Baylor, Matt Rule, Charlie Brewer. All that their front. We talked about, Lynch. We talked about Bernard and Blake Lynch and all these other guys. So I have a lot of respect for Baylor, and I hope, I wish them the best moving forward into the Big 12 title game, right? And they might go 11-1 this season, which is remarkable turnaround from a 1-11 season. And it's like kind of like this like upside down world thing for those of you who watch Stranger Things between Matt Rule and Tom Herman. Because we're all frustrated that we went to the AAC. People are talking about, oh, we don't need to go to the AAC more and get coaches. Well, Baylor went to the AAC and got a coach from Temple, and he whooping ass. But you know what's interesting to me? Do you remember after I think it was the first or second year, the NFL was trying to hire Matt Rule? Do you remember that?
Oh, no, both years. Both years they reached out to him and Matt Campbell.
Right.
Him and Matt Campbell.
That right there should tell you how other people regard the coaches, because I've never heard somebody say we're reaching out to Tom Herman to be an NFL coach.
The thing about it is, the thing that I remember was when Charlie Strong was fired and like 27 hours later we had a head coach. The thing that bothers me is that they didn't do any research. Like he has a history of building programs up, and Tom.
Matt Rule does.
Yeah, Matt Rule. Tom didn't really. He was only at Houston for a couple of years, and they were actually kind of a winning program. Yep. But Matt Rule turned a 2-10 team, Temple team, to
back-to-back 10-win seasons.
Yeah, back-to-back 10-win seasons, and then now he's done this at a Power 5 conference. So that shows that this guy's philosophy works, and his coaching works as well with these kids. And I mean, he inherited he legitimately inherited a dumpster fire. Yeah. Legitimately inherited. And culturally in 3 years. That's what's so frustrating is that Tom Herman, Charlie Strong, they didn't inherit a full-on dumpster fire. It wasn't perfect by any means.
No.
But the infrastructure was there to build a championship team. No. And that's the thing that pisses me off about this is that we said, oh, we took our time on hiring on this hire. It was 27 hours, fool. Like, stop it. Stop like shitting in our face here.
Yeah.
Jared, so I'm going to IG here real quick because Jared was talking about our opening script offensively. Guys, we don't script anything well coming out. I mean, it just is what it is. We gave up the big play defensively. Fortunately, we forced a fumble, but overall, I feel bad for the guys because we have some guys playing hard. Like DeMarvin Overshawn is becoming a star at this hybrid linebacker position, wherever the hell they have him playing at. He's just up there wreaking havoc,
making plays.
He
almost had a strip on Mims.
He had a strip on Mims. He almost had a diving interception. And we've seen this.
Well, he did have a strip on Mims, so we just didn't get the ball.
One of our best blitzers, and he was in there just being a badass. And I want to see more of that. I thought Todd Orlando blitzed Joseph Osai a little bit more. Now I was frustrated with, and this is where talent comes into play. Taquan Graham's unable to finish consistently. Malcolm Roach is unable to finish. When they get around the court, because Todd Orlando dialed it up to where they were creating a pressure. I could clearly see what he was trying to do. And I'm sure you guys noticed this as well. There were several times where you see Charlie Brewer hold on to the football because it's a coverage stack, right? Or it's supposed to be a coverage stack, and he's holding. They had the defense dialed up. There was times where we would bring a blitz from the boundary, but we would have Caden Stearns loop over and cover that up. They did those things well, I felt like. Now over the course of the game, they got worn down. They got frustrated. They started getting penalties. They give them the 4th and 5. The game's over. They're probably frustrated because the offense isn't doing shit. The offense made one play today, or else they probably get shut out. They probably should have been shut out today. Real talk. If it's not for Keontae Ingram, who Texas fans have shitted on this season, going back to the LSU game, which is whatever, but he made a play. We get a field goal out of it. But other than that, we probably should have got shut out. Let's be honest.
Which is inexcusable for a coach who prides himself on being such a great play caller.
Yeah.
Inexcusable, right?
Yeah, I saw a comment earlier where someone was like, why did we only start scoring in the last 30 seconds? The only reason that happened is because Baylor took the gas on defense and was like, we've already got this one put away. We don't need to risk any injury trying to just go hard as hell on defense. We're just going to let them score and finish out the game.
Jake Bridges said Mark Helfrich. I believe he's with the Chicago Bears right now.
I think he'd be a great hire.
I would like Mark Helfrich.
I think I brought him up in the last.
And I think he would be good fit for Sam Ehlinger. I also want to bring somebody in here to give Sam Ehlinger some freedom. There was something, I think it was, what's his name? One of the guys that's on Twitter, that said that Sam Ehlinger is not allowed to audible at the line of scrimmage or make checks or whatever. I don't know what his privileges are, but they were saying for you to be in this offense,
fucking junior,
right?
Sorry, he's a junior.
To be in this, it's fine. Let him go for 3 years and not have full. I don't know, to check in and out of plays or change a call. Then get me in here. Give me somebody in here that can run an offense that has that trust in my quarterback. Because there are some times where if we count numbers either on the outside, he could check to something on the outside. It's like, hey, everybody's kind of jumping in the box. Coach, let me audible to a quick screen over here or smoke screen or run some power off because I noticed Baylor's touchdown run to Lovett. They did a power overload where they pulled both the guards and we were completely out leveraged. It was like Deshaun Jameson who got run over by a bus, and Caden Stearns out there. I felt so bad for those brothers because I knew they had no chance once the guards pulled because they were outflanked, right? But that's something that Baylor recognized because they're a smart, well-coached football team, and they astutely run to the other side where the numbers are not there, right? So I don't understand why we can't, inject some of that.
Freeze. Oh my God, that dude's right on par with the scummy answer. Urban Meyer. It's like Urban Meyer, Hugh Freeze. Someone made a good point. They said Rule and Fleck were both available when we picked up Herman, and they didn't even look at Rule, which I don't know if that's true or not, but maybe Rule is the better coach in the long run. We don't know. But that's what someone was saying. They were saying we didn't even take a chance with Rule. We just automatically.
We didn't have a chance offensively today, guys.
No,
we didn't. We did not have a chance.
No.
It almost seemed like. It almost seemed like Matt Rule had access to our headsets at that time.
I had to get the "we're back" out. Sorry, guys, had to get it out. North Side Lafayette, LA.
Hey, the vultures are going to come in here now, and it sucks because it's clear as day that the kids are down.
Oh yeah.
When you see stuff, you don't see that the Parker. I don't ever recall a player leaving.
No.
Even during the Charlie Strong years,
I know the dark times. There was never something
there's something going on.
Yeah. Internally, don't know what it is.
I mean,
it has a nice new stadium. Yeah, Baylor doesn't.
But I will say this: they got to play some of the younger guys now. Like even that last drive where I know they got the touchdown with Daniel Young.
Yep.
That should have been a Casey Thompson drive.
Yep.
Like Christian Jones came in. Love seeing let them get some snaps. The season's over in terms of your goals and expectations. Just a failure. So how do we rebound? The rebound should start now.
Because that's who Sam Ellinger's going to be
playing
with.
Okay, y'all started working in Woodard. Woodard needs to play next week, period. Washington needs, I don't care if they're not ready, play them. Play them. Malcolm F's starting to get a little confidence. He made a couple plays.
Yeah.
Play him. I don't care.
He was even blocking, too. He looked a little bit more physical.
Let these brothers play now, man. Stop waiting with the same old. Jake Smith is another one. Yeah, those brothers need to play, man. Casey Thompson should have been in there. To keep Sam to just, he didn't need to take any extra hits.
Yeah.
Let Casey Thompson come in there at the end of that, in that situation. Daniel Young, whoever, so.
He hasn't gotten any reps all year.
Why hasn't Jordan played? According to that, his injury's not healing up as.
Yeah, they still said he's having a little pain when he runs.
This is the second surgery for it, right? Sports hernia?
Yeah.
Yeah. The first one apparently didn't do its job very well. Re-aggravated, so this one was supposed to.
What would we do with coaching changes?
Brian T, I agree. You got to keep these guys invested in the program. Game like that, I think it would have meant a lot to him if he got in there and just let it drive.
Yeah. I agree. He told me, because he's in my class, that Casey wanted to get a drive.
Teach game. I did not hear that man is good.
Perfect time. Okay. People are
just catching up on the. Now Overshawn was fantastic today. I really like the brother's energy. He does seem like a guy who can really who can develop into a very effective player at the next level.
Agreed.
Right. I was a little disappointed with Jalen Green at times. I thought he just kind of went away from his technique a little bit, got a little handsy.
That pass interference you're talking about.
Now some of them were a little cheap in terms of the officiating, but we got our ass whooped. So I only bring in the officials when it's close. When you're getting your block knocked off, I don't want to hear about whether or not they should have called this or that. You weren't competitive, right? Especially offensively, you were not competitive in this game. When you cannot block the people in front of you, and we talk about Bijan and all these running backs and Ty Jordan coming in. It doesn't matter when your center is getting blown up every play. When you can't run outside, when you can't even get to your reach blocks on outside zone, you can't even get there.
You could have anyone. You could have Adrian.
It doesn't matter.
You there at UT, it doesn't matter. You're not running. We're blocking. It doesn't matter. We don't seem like a smart team.
Brandon's texting me right now.
Shaq is struggling.
He is.
Shaq is struggling.
He is.
Now, I wouldn't fire it. I don't think I would fire Yancey McKnight. I think everything needs to be looked into and evaluated. And yet, does Yancey McKnight need to be evaluated? Absolutely. Maybe they bring in a consultant on how, because I've said this, I think he does a good job, because I've noticed our big guys have stayed healthy this whole year, and our smaller guys have struggled a little bit with injuries. Now, again, we talk about, soft tissue, versus bone and things like that. But, I do think, though, that they don't know how to go from training camp mentality to strategic mentality during the season. I think they just leave it on training camp mentality, right? And there's a shift and Des Bryant, I give him credit. He was the one that said it. You got to shift when the season starts, right? Mm-hmm. And they still have this thing of we got to just tough it out and train and
Iron sharpens iron.
Iron sharpens iron. It's like, nah, man, we gotta start working on scheme, keeping people fresh, and making sure guys are playing fast because they know what the hell's going on and what they're looking at. Right? Mm-hmm. It's got to be more up here than it is about. Braun is in the offseason, in my opinion. I mean, y'all let me know if I'm off base.
Wonder if there's any fellow Texas students right now in the chat. Shout yourself out.
Well, look, the Tom Herman thing. He has, I think, what y'all can correct me if I'm wrong, a $20 million buyout. But we've seen good, and I continue to say this, like last season, and I know it's just one season, but this is why I'm also worried that it could be a Brady Hoke thing, where you have the one season fool's gold, and I'm hoping it's not the case, and I think Chris Del Conte is too. Now the thing is, Matt Myers, appreciate you, man. For those of y'all, Matt Myers, Texas Platinum, check him out. He said, "I am a student as well. I am unhappy." I agree with you, man. I mean, I'm sorry. I'm sure Matthew can agree with you as well. Yeah, but when you look at the fool's gold, right, and going back to that, and Tom Herman, he has to try to get this football team together in terms of like having fun and enjoying what they're doing and enjoying representing the University of Texas, enjoying playing football, giving guys opportunities to get to the next level that have those abilities. And right now we're not seeing that.
Yeah. I just don't know if he has that personality though, that he's going to get them together like that. Like the funny thing is, if you asked me this before he was hired, I was so excited about that because he was a players coach at Houston. At Houston, getting that grill made after the championship game, getting Paul Wall there to perform for them, things like that. Have you seen that here?
No.
I mean,
what we saw was him headbutting Malcolm Roach today.
Yeah. And
do with that information what you will. Him headbutting players before the game with help.
And it didn't pop up Malcolm Roach. I'm sorry.
Thanks, Scott. Thank you, Scott. We really appreciate it. Thank you. Scott said we need a splash OC hire. Love Graham Harrell. Graham Harrell, I believe, is at USC right now. And he was actually the one who ruined. He was part of the part of the Michael Crabtree catch. Ain't no man in the land better than Crab is what he said after the game when they defeated us in Lubbock when we were number one, and we do not make it to the national championship. But Graham Harrell is now OC from the Mike Leach tree. And
someone said we got blown out because Tom Herman got a concussion from the headbutting in the game. That's so funny.
The Texas defensive ends are too big to rush the passer. I just don't think they're talented enough, Freddie. I see big guys rushing the passer at Alabama and other teams that are using a 3-man front. Actually, forget Alabama. I see it at Baylor. Mm-hmm. That the big boy Lynch. Mm-hmm. He's not small, and he's a 3-down line, right? I didn't see this with Charles Omenihu last year, or Puna Ford the year before. They all played in the same defense and got stats. I believe Puna Ford was Big 12 Defensive Lineman of the Year. Same thing with Charles Omenihu. Yeah, they both played in the same defense, same coach, everything. We just don't got. Now, Coburn has the talent, and he'll get there. But you said it during the game.
He needs some running mates.
Coburn, yeah.
He needs some running mates. He needs two guys on the ends because he's taking double teams left and right, and everyone knows he's the center anchor of our defensive line. He's just you put him, you can interchange him with Baylor, and he'd still be just murdering things.
Is Alex still here? I know he was talking about A&M. I knew y'all were gonna stay close in the Georgia game because
Jake Fromm was trash.
Jake Fromm was trash.
You see how many we just in the first half, how many times I kept saying, he missed a wide open pass.
Jake Fromm, he was brutal.
He did not look good at all.
He was brutal today. But A&M fought hard and they lost. But
there's one thing I wanted to bring up because I was trying to let y'all finish what you were saying about the thing, but because I know Matt said that he's a fan here, a student fan here, and they also have a show, Texas Platinum. So check them out, y'all, if you want to see kind of similar content, but more like student based. So yeah, the thing I wanted to say, like just from a student perspective, like I was at Baylor, so yeah, sorry, I used to be this, now I'm this. But when I was at Baylor, that was Matt Rule's first year, right? So he was 1-11. He won one game. It was against Kansas, that one win. And I'm not even sure if it was a home win. I can't remember now, but I went to every single home game for the first like 6 or 7 games. We lost to Liberty, UTSA,
I remember that.
and pretty much everyone else in the conference. Yeah, literally everyone else in the conference except for LSU. And we lost away at Duke, I believe it was that year. It was either Kentucky or Duke, one of those schools. And we got manhandled by them. And I was like, this dude's like, I had like no optimism about that guy. I was like, man, this guy's kind of trash. 1-11. Then they go 7-6 next year. That's improvement, right? And I'm not there anymore because I transferred. This is my second year at UT as a film student. My first year was a sophomore. So we went 10-4 my first year at UT. That was great. But Baylor, on the other hand, was 7-6 last year. Now they're 11 or what, 10-1?
10-1.
Right? So they started out the season undefeated. Should have beat OU, choked that out, obviously, and they're still 10-1. And they have the opportunity to finish 11-1. I don't see them losing to Kansas. And I feel like,
I agree.
Yeah, and I feel like if you take the last 2 seasons, Matt Rule's gone 7-6 to 11-1 in the regular season. Tom Herman has gone 10-4 down to 6-5, and then probably going to finish 6-6, hopefully 7-6 with a bowl win. I hope we can win a bowl, but not if we can only score 3 points. Like,
So I want to address couple things, and then I'm gonna let Tran weigh in. Richard, we got you with Tran's thoughts. Alex, I was not trolling you about A&M. I said y'all fought hard today.
Yeah.
And you know, you should be proud of how your team.
I actually told them before the game that I thought A&M was gonna win because I thought Jake Brown was trash.
Yeah, so I wasn't trolling. Hey, Caleb, thank you. Yeah. Caleb, still $20 donation. We appreciate that, man. Thank you. I hope this channel grow. But Tran, go ahead, weigh in, man.
Now, on what are we talking about? A&M?
No, Richard. No. We're talking about Texas. Richard wants to hear more of your Texas thoughts.
So where the program goes from here, I'm not even convinced that like I'm not worried about what Texas Tech team is going to show up because they're hot and cold team this whole year. I'm worried about what team's going to show up here. I mean,
in terms of the Longhorns.
we just did not look like we wanted to be there. It doesn't seem like we're going to want to be there on a short week as well after hearing this.
I mean,
and so what? You're playing the number 14 team in the nation, and it's a team that you're going against. You're going against recruiting head to head. Like, sure. What do you want to go? The garbage that you saw, how the team was reacting to the coaching staff. One of the players walked off. Like, or are you going to go to a guy who's turned a 1-11 team to a 11-1 team? My thought process is like, this looks pretty attractive over here in Wacoville. Like, and it's not that far away from Austin, so hey, I could go there on the weekends anyways after we win our Big 12 championship. And we couldn't even get up to play the number 14 team in the nation. It does that's the thing that bothers me is that. And I'm not convinced that we're gonna be up for it. We're gonna be there at the game. Yeah, I'm gonna still go, but it's just a frustrating loss. You know, to me it's comical at this point.
No, it is.
Jesse said winning is really, really hard.
Sounds too familiar, man. Sounds way too familiar.
It is. It's hard in this league. Another thing I wanted to touch on. It's just next season is going to be even worse. Because we have such good coaching staffs here in the Big 12 that, you know, Kansas State's going to be on the rise. You know,
Chris Kleinman's, what he has going on.
He has built. He's a national champion winning coach. Like, and once he starts getting his infrastructure in there, it's going to be even more difficult to go to Kansas State to win. Yep. Then Les Miles, once he gets his people in.
Yeah. Kansas was competitive today against Matt Campbell went for it on 4th down. To escape Kansas
to say, hey, we're not going to even give him a shot.
Right. The Kansas thing ain't about to be a joke soon. What Les is doing over there, and they have a big ass class coming in too. So this conference and
And we're leaving out Oklahoma State too. They have Spencer Rattler's going to be a really good player.
I think we're still got to get another year of Chuba too.
Oh yeah, Chuba's
Spencer Sanders.
Yeah, Spencer Sanders. Yeah.
I was going to say, wait, did he transfer?
Yeah. I was combining OU's.
Spencer Rattler's going to be a baller too, though, for OU, I'm sure.
Yeah. Miller Lite in the glass.
He has Miller Lite. I had vodka soda.
Yeah, he went to the hard stuff. So,
it's the hair. Yeah,
He's
cutting my hair.
Yeah, well, you know what? You deserve some blame too. Damn it! Why did you have to cut your hair before the season, Trey? Shit!
It's there.
Trey, rank Herman amongst Big 12 coaches. So I would put, honestly, the best Big 12 coach. I was on the Matt Rule bandwagon even before this season. So I'm going to go Matt Rule's number 1. Then I'm Lincoln Riley, number 2. Campbell, number 3.
Kansas State coach?
I want to put not yet because he hasn't proven it yet. I can't put him there yet, but he is a good coach. But I'm gonna even put Gundy and Tom Herman right there at number 3 and 4.
So y'all got them over Gary Patterson?
I mean,
it's so many dudes, right?
I forgot about him.
You got Gary Patterson.
Yeah.
You got Les Miles. This kid.
I do think he's a better coach than Les Miles, but Les is still. He's he's one of 5 national champion
coaches still coaching.
Yeah. Neil Brown and Neil Brown at Troy. He'll we'll see what happens. Here's my energy with Tom Herman, and I think I said this on the last video when somebody else asked me that. I'm gonna give him till the end of Sam Ehlinger. I believe he deserves 4 years.
Mm-hmm.
He did win a Sugar Bowl. He did get 10 wins. He deserved that amount of time. Now, whatever he decides to do with it, because I'm looking at it from the perspective of I'm Chris Conti. I'm gonna say, look, let me make this very clear for you. You need to win quickly. All right. You need to at least get back to the Big 12. You need to maximize whatever you have left of Sam Ehlinger's senior year, right? Going into next year. And you need to prove to us that because if you're going to be in this mid-tier of Big 12 coaches, let's say that peak Tom Herman is the 4th best coach in the Big 12.
It's not good enough.
Then you can't be here in Texas.
It's not good enough in Texas.
And it doesn't mean you're a bad coach. That's how I feel about Jason Garrett. I'm not saying you're a bad coach, but you're not good enough for what we're trying to do. Right?
So to piggyback on Matthew Miller asked the question, what gets Herman fired? I think if they don't go to the Big 12 championship next year.
Fired? Yeah.
Fired.
No, I agree.
Honestly.
That should be the expectation.
Because the defense is going to be more grown up. Yes, Sam Ehlinger is going to have new pieces to play with on the wide receiver position. However, he's going to be a senior at that time, and he's going to be a wide receiver needs to catch the ball. He just needs to put it there for him. So, and as a senior quarterback, he needs to do that.
So the Chris Conti thing, because somebody else, I think Scott just brought that up, and again, thank you for the donations. We're 215 strong in here, guys. I appreciate that. Make sure you're hitting the like button, and appreciate everybody that's in here enjoying the chat. But what?
Can't wait for Sam to leave. Come on now, people.
Well, you guys got to remember what we were like way before Sam came.
I somewhat understand the frustration, Sam, but I do want to get to my Chris Conti point.
Yeah.
The one thing that Chris Conti has in his pocket is he didn't hire Tom Herman.
Mm-hmm.
Mike Perrin did.
Yep.
So Tom Herman technically he can say, hey, he can ride it out, ride the wave, but at the end of the day, that's not his hire.
Yeah.
He inherited Tom Herman. And I think Tom Herman needs to be aware of that as well when evaluating his coaching staff, when evaluating what this program needs to look like moving forward, and overall the overall vision. Guys, I'm going to end the IG chat here because we're having some issues with the light. So y'all jump over to Facebook, Jared and everybody else in here. Please jump over to Facebook. I appreciate y'all. Or YouTube. Sorry about that.
Lane Kiffin to Texas. No way.
Lane Kiffin? No.
No, thank you.
I don't want.
Yes, the Tech game. Every game should be a must-win for the seniors. I mean, every game should be like so. Yes, but yes, the Tech game should be a must-win. Will that happen? I don't know. Yeah, I would love Kyle Shanahan.
Hey, Nathan Lott, that's my dude, Nathan. Nathan's been right. He was the one that planted that seed in my head about Kyle Shanahan.
Yeah.
But it's not realistic at this point.
Especially since he's down.
Those are the type of people that Texas needs to contact.
Yeah, just say, all right, you know what? They're paying you $8 million. Yeah, we'll go 10. We'll go 10. Come back to your alma mater.
We have the money. I do it.
Well, Alex, we were a different team then. And the confidence does a lot in football because it was the same people out there. But when you're not confident, and when your confidence is gone, your preparation and attention to detail ultimately wane as well. And that's what happened. I think that's one of the biggest differences between the team that we saw take the field against LSU that we were all very proud of. Mm-hmm. Win or lose, we were proud of the product that they put out there. Right? They competed. When we had our conversation after the LSU game, we were talking about particular moments in the game, particular
that lost
downs,
the game.
That lost the game for us, that were the difference between victory and defeat. Mm-hmm. But now everything we're talking about is big picture staff, personnel.
Yeah.
And it's frustrating and it's sad where we've gone.
Yeah. B. John's not going to flip to OSU. Whoever said that.
No.
I think
he sounds solid, and I believe the kid. Yeah. I believe the kid. Let's see here. King Kunta said we won't be good until we get an elite QB capable of being the first overall pick. I mean, you don't see, but that's not what's winning college football every year.
No. Look what Alabama's done. They don't have an elite QB. They win national championships all the time.
Hey, David, we appreciate that compliment, sir. We try to give you guys, at least just keep it real with everybody here every week. But we're going to keep the party going. Any young QB coaches in the NFL that we could steal? I need to think about that. I'm not sure. Just off the top. I mean, you could look at, like a Joe Brady type thing. I mean, I don't know if you want to look. We talk about Kyle Shanahan. But the thing is like, even if it, as an offensive person, right, to either be a co-OC or whatever, I don't know. But because that's the tweak that LSU made.
It's been huge. It's changed their entire season, their entire program, really. This year.
Yeah. Sam Ehlinger, you can win with Sam Ehlinger. That's not.
We did it last year.
You can win with Sam Ehlinger.
He's a good quarterback.
Yeah.
Not bad. He's the most consistent quarterback we've had in a long time.
But when you have, when things are starting to fall apart, does he have the talent level to throw to Brandon Eagles, where it gets intercepted,
underthrown? Where we thought we were on our 45, but they were on the opposite 45.
Yeah, I mean,
changed my. Because I was like, he could not make it to the end zone.
Yeah,
that was the thing. But it, that extra 10 yards still adds up on that.
Yeah, but I mean, a more talented quarterback probably makes that throw. Hits him, gets the ball over those guys because Brandon Eagles wide open. Touchdown. Yeah, big play.
If he throws it deep, it's a touchdown.
But I mean, Sam. Again, just like I don't blame the running backs, like. The offensive line, it starts there, and they threw tantrums today. And I know we continue to talk about it, but
you're not doing your job. You need to stop.
You're not doing your job. Shut the hell up, man.
And I hate to say it because I did see a lot of effort from Cosme. Cosme did play well.
Yeah.
Kerstetter, a lot of times, it looked like he was just jogging.
Kerstetter didn't play well today.
He did not play. He didn't play well, and he also had a post play penalty. Then Parker Braun, I mean, he's not good at pass, bro. I mean, we saw that a couple times. Shackelford, I mean, he wasn't great. He wasn't terrible.
I thought he got beat up today.
You did? Did you? I know he did have a bad snap, which
I thought Zach. But the thing is, Zach Shackelford's been.
What about Okafor? I really didn't. I'd have to rewatch.
So they brought in Junior Angulo a couple times too. Like they were doing this. They were doing some rotations or whatever. But guys were just you know, getting, you know, they were trying to ride guys upfield. The one thing I thought Baylor, I give Baylor credit for this stuff. I thought Baylor did a good job of leveling off in the pocket. Like you didn't see guys overshoot the pocket to where the quarterback can slide up and have a whole bunch of space. And then they gave their linebackers time to come up, fill, and that's when they were lowering the boom on Sam. You saw that consistently.
Hit hard constantly.
We
we only hit Brewer hard like once.
And he got knocked out.
Yeah, he got knocked out. I don't know why we didn't try to hit him hard the entire game to get it like stop on the momentum on the offense.
There was some play in the first quarter where he ran, and I'm like, and he tried to like lower his shoulder in the middle of the field. I'm like, oh, you knocked that dude out. If where I come from, if a quarterback tries to do that over the middle, that's disrespectful. Now we have to, you know, at least make him feel it, right?
Exactly.
Because people do that to Sam every single week. Now he's big enough, he's bigger than Charlie and he can take it, but Charlie was feeling himself a little bit. And I think Matt Rule, if he could do it over again, he probably is not calling quarterback power like that when he's up. Like
not only that, especially in the red zone where everything's cut off a little bit and he doesn't have that space.
Jordan. What was with the Jake Smith and Christian McCaffrey comparisons early on? Oh, he's white. People just like the Jordan Shipley comparisons.
Yeah.
But I always said, like, hey guys, like, we need to see him play. And like we're all excited. I mean, he's still a Gatorade National Player of the Year, and I had all the accolades and has talent. You know, he has 5 touchdowns now.
Yeah.
That was all in the first half of the season.
Yeah.
And he's made some great plays. He made a great catch in the LSU game. But freshman wall hits it hard.
Yeah.
You know, and it happens. But you know, everybody wanted to get ahead of themselves and
Run
see
the
those
wishbone versus Texas Tech. That's pretty funny.
Guys, we'll keep it going for a little bit longer because we still have 189 people in here. Appreciate you guys. Make sure you guys are hitting the like. Yeah. So, and I'm worried about my brother Wilder tonight against Ortiz. I don't like this rematch for him, but I do need to get back to. But if anybody's in Austin, I'll be in the Domain watching the fight at South Asian Pizza. They're showing the fight tonight.
Someone said, would you at least consider Urban Meyer as the head coach in 2020 if Herman continues to shit the bed?
No. Not me. I mean, Steven may think differently, but I am not real.
I don't think
he produces wins, but I can't stand him personally.
I would say he goes to the Cowboys more likely than he ever goes to Texas. I mean, I feel like he's going to take or USC. I don't think he's going to come to
some skeletons
USC,
will come up.
but USC is going to be like 8-4 now.
8-4, 9-3, something like that.
I feel like the only way
how are you going to fire like a 10-win?
The only way they're going to fire their current head coach USC is if like they can automatically get like Urban Meyer guaranteed. That's the only way they're going to fire him because they know that he'll be better. Even though he's got skeletons in the closet. And I kind of agree. We don't need to sell our soul. Like there's got to be someone out there. If it's not going to be Herman, there's got to be someone besides Urban Meyer that can get us a Big 12 championship and a playoff berth.
I agree with you. How many people knew who Joe Brady was before LSU hired him?
I didn't.
Raise your hand.
You know what I mean?
Did you even knew that those of you in the chat, don't lie. Don't lie. Right.
The only
But
Saints
they
fans,
right. If you're outside of the people that are
Saints fans.
right. Nobody did. Thank you, Alex. Nobody did. But they did their homework because look, football, these coaching circles, and those of you, some of y'all are gonna know what I'm talking about. It's a community. It's a network. They start to know because they go to conferences, they go to camps, they talk. You talk about Tom Herman going to Alabama and talking to Nick Saban. These coaches talk.
Mm-hmm.
Information shared. You start to realize, oh, wow, that guy knows. I'll probably bring him on my staff in a couple of years. Texas needs to get to that, right? To identify those type of candidates. Now, if you want an established person, go all the way in on an established person.
Pay for that person.
Right. Like
put them on a 1-year contract.
Like, because I hear people, like somebody brought up Sonny Dykes earlier at SMU. No, bro. Like, didn't he get fired from Cal? Yeah. Like, nah, yeah, he's doing a good job at SMU. Like, I'd rather go after the Memphis coach Norvell than Sonny Dykes.
Yeah.
Like, don't get me a rerun. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Like, get me somebody. If we're gonna go down the established route, I need a big boy coach.
Yeah.
Or if Tom's the guy, and I've said, Tom should get one more year with Sam, ride it out. But get me one of these young people that we don't know his name yet, but you saw how
but the coaching circles know his name.
The coaching circles know, right? Yeah, with Aaron Porter, I agree. We gotta get these likes up, guys. Gotta get these likes up. There's a bunch of y'all in there.
Who wins, Cowboys or Patriots?
We'll win tomorrow. Cowboys win. I think our offense is better than the Patriots. It's going to be tough playing against the defense.
I'm not saying,
So
Michael Martin, let me clarify. I think a young coach will come here on a 1-year contract. I do think that. And it might have to be somebody, and I know we've been burned by the Sterling Gilbert thing because it's starting to smell like that when we brought him in because he had some Art Briles stuff and he installed the Briles type of offense and the veer and shoot. Yeah. And it didn't jive well with us, even though Foreman won the dope. But if I'm talking about an established head coach where it's a Chris Del Conte hire, where Chris Del Conte saying, I'm taking over the program and I'm going to go out and get whoever I think is qualified to be at Texas. That's the designation I'm going to make there, Michael, just for clarification purposes. Eric Bieniemy from the Chiefs. I think he's going to be a head coach soon in the NFL.
Yeah, in the NFL.
But if he came to Texas, the thing is, if he came to Texas, it might have to be as a head coach. Yeah. With the profile that he has, I mean, when you've been the coordinator for one of the best offenses, if not the best offense in the NFL the last 2 years. But again, if you want to make that contact and reach out to people like that, that's what you need to do. Tom Herman, though, in terms of, I feel like he's uncomfortable himself. I don't see a coach, like I see him just grasping at straws right now. Yeah. Like the doing things that are out of character.
This is unfamiliar territory for him, though. He's kind of a winner. Yeah. Except when he was at Iowa State.
Ohio State.
Iowa State. Ohio State, he won. Mm-hmm. He won big, too. Houston, he won. Now he's not winning here. Mm-mm. The first year, he had a little leeway because he actually had a winning season for us. But next year, he gave us the fool's gold you're talking about. Now this is the product that you're putting out, and he's in an unfamiliar territory where everyone's shining a light on him. This is our sport. This is our professional sports team. This is Central Texas professional sports team on Saturdays. So when you're not doing well, the magnifying glass gets bigger. Everything gets wider, and I think it's starting to wear on him because you could see the ego that he had was not there when he was answering questions today, and it looked like he was angry and frustrated at the same time, which that's not the same Tom that we've seen. And what was the first thing he said in his introductory presser when he was as the coach? He said, someone asked him, "Are you nervous?" He says, "No, nerves are a sign that you're not prepared." And he hasn't been prepared the past couple of weeks, so he's starting to look nervous.
That's actually a good call out. I didn't even think about that. So my boy Colin texted me earlier and was like, we're not getting good coaching. We're not getting good. Our quarterback's regressing. Mm-hmm. Offensive line is not playing well. The defense is what it is. What's our culture, right? Or what's our identity was what he asked me. And I said right now our identity is regression. That's to me.
Yeah. Can't we have a split one?
It seems like we have a split identity. We have this identity of regression right now. So this is not even the same football team we saw at the beginning of the season. Like I said, even Oklahoma. Yeah, but even the Oklahoma game, I mean, they at least. Now I get when you start to lose, some of that fight starts to wane. And Tom even alluded to there are every team that loses like this or where expectations aren't met, there's going to be a certain percentage of guys in the locker room that just start to, they kind of bad apples, right? Yeah. Some of those folks have already left this program. Yeah. So, and then you see some people that decide mid-game they want to leave. Like, so it happens.
Well, that mid-game stuff doesn't typically happen.
Doesn't seem like it usually happens
That's
that
pretty
often.
non.
Parker Brown needs to be fired, man. The more I think about it, at least for the Tech game. Now, if they can, and then I would leave it to the captains and the players on the team on how they treat it going into the bowl. And the reason why I say this is my mother used to say, like, yo, like, we're going to go into the store, but like the one thing you better not do publicly is embarrass me.
Mm-hmm.
Don't embarrass me.
And he did.
And he embarrassed them.
And you know what? You know what's so good about him being in Waco? It's close to Dallas. It's a direct flight to Georgia, so you can go back home from that. Just send him home. I'm like that. That's a smack in the face to you. It'd be like if you got into a fight and I just walked
Christopher
away.
Green, thank you.
Like, honestly,
Thank you for the
right?
notion.
It would be like if you got into a fight and I just walked away because I was pissed off about something that you said to me earlier. Right?
Correct.
It would be,
Yeah, we can't be friends no more.
I turned my back on my friend. I turned my back on, I guess, and that's not what you're supposed to do on a team. And that's the thing that
and I get the frustration. I'm not saying he came here. He was probably he was by Herb Hand. They were going to develop him into an NFL college, get his pass pro up.
Mm-hmm.
And I get that. And he's an all conference player. He's shown why in the run game while he's been here. He hasn't been complete trash. I'm not saying that.
Oh yeah. His run blocking is he's a mauler.
In this game, he was getting people on the ground, but you can't do that.
No.
You can't do that, and so that's where you leave it to the leadership count, because they love to use all these terms. They have leadership council and all sorts of things. So maybe you leave that to the leadership council to say, how do we want to handle this? Because it is senior night.
Who's the leadership council now?
Well, now they've added people that are younger guys like Coburn and Ingram.
I think Coburn should be there.
Yeah.
I don't think I have not seen him even. I've seen him be frustrated because I even see him walking off the field shaking his head. But I have not seen him not give effort. And that to me shows the kind of character he has as a player.
Mm-hmm. Didn't PJ Fleck just get extended though by Minnesota? I could be.
I'm sure they tried.
I think they extended him. Now I'm not saying that you can't always pay for somebody else's buyout, as we've seen all over college football. But people will be willing to spend the money, right?
Like we're willing to pay for the rest of Charlie Strong's contract to get him out of there and get someone else. I mean,
exactly.
It's not out of the ordinary. We can totally do that.
Yeah, the buyout's $20 million.
Oh yes, I think Wilder.
I think Wilder, man, but I'm worried.
I think Wilder in the 7th.
I'm hoping with Ortiz. Ortiz has gotten older. Even in the last, he's an older fighter, but Ortiz almost knocked out Wilder the last time, if y'all remember that. It stinks though that we can't even confidently say we have a top 5 coaching staff.
We're being realistic though. I mean, we're 100% being realistic. There's people who are delusional and say no, they're top tier. They're not. I mean, unfortunately, they're not. No. I do think that Todd Orlando has a good philosophy. I just think I think he needs to shore up his blitzing scheme a little bit. But we have the dogs, and I think we'll get better. I really do like Todd. I think we need a better special teams coach. Mm-hmm. I think our wide receiving coach. I think there should be a pretty good overhaul. I do think Stan Drayton is a good running back coach.
They need to overhaul the wide receiver group because they're another group who it's not their fault, the kids, but they're being misled, and some of them aren't being asked to play to their positions of strength. They run their route combinations don't make sense. I saw a deep ball thrown today where 2 guys, and maybe it was just miscommunication on the play call, but there was a deep ball thrown. I don't know if y'all remember this, but it was like 2 people running go routes right next to each other.
It was Devin Durbin and also Eagles.
And it was just like, what the hell is going on, man? And like the scramble drill stuff continues to be an issue. Guys not working back to the quarterback. Devin Durbin, and some of that is experience in playing and learning. Like, hey, if I play with a quarterback who He's going to be moving around a little bit. I got to cut my route off and start to work back to him. We don't see that enough with this group, but we see that with other teams where they just seem to always be on sync. When the quarterback makes a pocket, all of a sudden people start, at certain levels blazing towards the sideline. So I don't know. These are things you can work on, though.
Said any word on how Gabriel Floyd is doing?
That I don't.
I have not heard. Someone did ask you, do you think we have a top 4 running back core?
In the conference?
I would put our running backs up there with the top tier programs here in the Big 12.
Yeah.
I don't think our running backs are the issue. Like, even Keontae's run, like, you saw his talent level when he got space.
Mm-hmm.
And our running backs can catch the football. Like, Roshan Johnson caught a couple balls today over the middle where he was getting clapped.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the Baylor dudes actually dapped him up because they were like, "Hey man, like I hit you pretty hard."
Yeah, it was like this shit.
Exactly. So when you look at also like Roshan, and then you have Bijan Robinson coming in, Jordan Whittington's still there. Like, I'm not worried about the talent level in that room. They don't have the room.
Yeah, people are like, does Keontae start at a top 10 school at this point? Well, yeah, he's not a bad running back.
He was a top 4 running back coming out of the nation.
He's not a bad running back. He's a good running back. It's not his fault.
You know what's funny?
What would Keontae Ingram's stats look like behind Wisconsin's offensive line?
Probably similar to, maybe not as good, but very similar to Jonathan Taylor, probably over 1,000 yards at this point.
Yeah, you know what's funny? Money Grip, our friend Brandon, who's an A&M fan and who used to play for A&M, he said, Herman's losses towards the middle and the end of the season remind me a lot of Herman. That's what he said. I mean, not Herman, Sumlin.
Kevin Sumlin.
Yeah, Kevin Sumlin. Someone made that comparison that Tom Herman is Kevin Sumlin.
Disagree with what, Joey? I just wanted to context. I saw last week I watched 5 stop in place when they realized they recovered. Like, the defense would just. I agree, Kevin, man. Like, guys aren't being, and I don't know if that's a coach. I think it's a coaching thing when you see multiple guys do the same thing, right? Mm-hmm. So they're not being taught, or it's something they're not working on. Where, hey, reroute, we work. Sometimes you got to cut it short. Come back to me, right? Like, let's and there were times like Malcolm Epps caught one downfield when Sam was about to get sacked and he got away and he threw it to him. Yeah. Brendan Eagles uncovered a couple times, but they don't do it consistently. Yeah. And especially when the offensive line's struggling a little bit, everybody has to be mindful. That's why I talk about complementary football. It can also happen on your side of the ball within different position groups. Mm-hmm. Hey, offensive line struggling, as a wide receiver, I need to be aware I might have to cut this a little short because the ball might not come out, right? Like, so just being mindful of those type of things. Agreed. Allen High School is not better than Arkansas. They're not even better than Rockwall.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they would lose to Arkansas. It's the whole argument.
Can we all stop saying that a lesser tier thing is better? Like, people told me that LSU could beat the worst NFL team. Yeah. The best high school team could beat the worst college team. No, it's bigger, stronger, faster, smarter. Yeah. No, that's not going to work.
Yeah, people be like, oh, Alabama can beat the Cleveland Browns back when the Browns were way worse than they are now.
Patrick, so Patrick said, so you're saying, I guess you're saying our backs aren't that great. My question to you is, what are they supposed to do behind this type of blocking?
When they're getting hit 2 yards behind the line of scrimmage.
They're getting hit in the backfield consistently.
Yeah, Lady Veteran is out.
I agree. Whittington.
We're talking about the talent of the backs that are back there. So we're not talking about.
Did you see the run that Keontae Ingram had today?
And by the way, just heads up, a lot of the times backs are interchangeable. That's why you see the average lifespan of an NFL running back is like less than 3 years, isn't it? Because they are interchangeable. You get hurt, hey, this guy's not hurt. We'll pull him in and he can run that scheme.
Puka Williams, so their blocking scheme and how they run the football in terms of, because scheme also is a part of this too. So let's not act like the coaching, they have better schemes than we do. So does Oklahoma State, because you're bringing up Chuba too. They have a better scheme than we do. I don't see Chuba Hubbard getting hit in the backfield, bro, is my point. When I see Chuba Hubbard running, I see holes.
Yeah.
Now he's making it happen. Where are the holes for the Texas running backs? I'm just saying, like, before you throw the room under the bus, like Keontae Ingram, if he was at Oklahoma State, he'd be making it happen. That's my point. The one on swing passes, bro, he got hit. The swing pass, he got hit as he's catching the ball. I don't know what else.
The one that Sam laid him out for?
Yeah. He's getting hit as soon as he catches the ball. How many people did he miss on the 68-yard? The one run that we had to generate points. Like the one person that actually came and did something to get us points, but we want to criticize. That's where we're choosing to lay criticism. I disagree, Patrick.
I mean, what do you have? Seven
I don't see the holes
for 86 yards or something like that.
Yeah, I mean, bulk of
it bulk of it were off for 2 carries, definitely.
Let's see.
I agree, Barrett. I 100% agree. We are trying to outsmart coaching instead of playing to our strengths. 100% agree with that.
So I'm not saying Jordan Whittington, we haven't seen him play, so we don't know if he's not elite or anything yet, right? All I know is Roschon Johnson looked pretty good against LSU level talent, and they're the number 1 team in the country. Keontae Ingram was a top 5, top 6 running back when he came out of high school. So the talent level is good enough. And then they have another one that's a 5-star coming in next year. But I'm telling you, you put Bijan Robinson out there today with this offensive line, I don't know what else he would have done. That's all I'm saying. The punter had one bad hit today. He had the 19-yard punt. But other than that, I mean, he's actually been better than Buszewski, in my opinion. Let's see. The tight ends got to grow up. They're struggling.
They are.
Jared Wiley, and I didn't see much Reese Laytow today. I think he hit somebody on special teams, but
he was supposed to be starting.
Everyone thought about doing a live stream during the game.
No, we want to watch the game.
Yeah.
Somebody's asked me that before. Maybe starting a Twitch
that'd be
stream.
Cool.
There's a lot of cursing.
There's a lot of
cursing during the game.
I don't get it. But the thing is, wasn't Jared Wiley a year ago playing quarterback at Temple? Like, I think even though he has the body, it's still a mental thing to get him up to speed with the physicality of the position. He's the Shaq version of the tight end. I don't know what's going on with Juwan Mitchell. I didn't see him out there today.
I know he went out in Iowa State, but I don't know if he got really injured during that play. But I don't know.
The 10 personnel thing. So I think overall we're better right now. I mean, at least the last couple of weeks, out of that formation with the 4 wide receivers than we are trotting out the tight end every week and putting the tight end in the slot. Like, that's ridiculous. Mm-hmm. But especially when it's like, and I feel like we're playing 10 on 11 at that point. I really do. Because as a defense, if I'm a defensive coordinator, I'm not even guarding him until they prove to me that they're even willing to throw the football to him, right? At least with 4 wide receivers, they can challenge some linebackers. I can try to get Jake Smith on a linebacker, take advantage of this. I don't know. Eyebrows probably not ready yet. All right, we're gonna go to 125 and then I gotta get to this fight. 118.
You got 5 more minutes.
Yeah.
More good offenses.
But I do think, Tom did take accountability today. I'll give him that. I'm not just gonna rag on somebody for no reason. I think everything we criticize is justified.
Addison, I think we touch on the delayed blitzes every single episode. We're not fans of it. It doesn't work. It doesn't really affect the play. It actually takes your defense out of position where you're blitzing from completely. So, I'm not a fan of it. I know Steven's not a fan of it. So.
I'm not a fan of it.
Yeah. Hold on. Diane said I would not blame Jordan for feeling pain attempting to run behind the current offensive line.
Nice.
That's hilarious. I actually noticed that too about the Caden Stearns not playing the football. I thought he could have had an interception on that play because Jalen Green had good coverage and he came over and he actually hit. I think it was one of those receivers, but he actually ended up. Now they didn't complete the pass, but he ended up hitting Jalen Green. I'm like, last year I feel like that would have been like the Wolf play where he's ball hawks it. As opposed to the, yeah, I did notice that. So I'm curious as to, his mindset and why he's not. Why I don't see that aggressiveness, man. Now we appreciate you, Richard, and everybody else that's in here in the chat, man. We have to talk it out, guys. I think it's healthy. I think it's therapeutic. I know for myself driving home, that's why we listen to, the guys on the radio. Here in Austin, we have the horn. When I drive home, we'll have the horn on, and people will be calling in and sharing their thoughts about the team as well. There's things that you guys notice during the games that the three of us watching, may not see. So we get to learn from each other here. Reginald Cash, welcome and thank you for subscribing. Thanks. Really appreciate that. We just try to keep it real. We're fellow fans, so I'm not an expert at football, nor do I ever claim to be. I've just watched a lot, I've played a lot, and been able to not be outcoached.
And will not admit if you are out.
But I am thankful for you, Matthew, for everything you do behind the scenes for us and producing here as well. So,
Mark, I agree. We need to beat Texas. I think we'd be doing our seniors a disservice if we didn't come out and try to ball out.
Agreed.
Thanks, Eric. Appreciate you.
Patrick said we get camp warriors that have maxed their bodies out in elite Texas high school programs. I actually thought that was a big issue at the end of the Mac Brown era, especially when he used to sign guys coming out of what they used to call junior day, and they would load up like 20 commits or whatever. I don't know if it's because, to your point, we have seen guys who are some of the five, and that's where the recruiting services can be a little dicey. Guys who are gangbusters in high school, but that's as good as they will ever be. Like they've already hit their ceiling. Versus a guy who, may grow another 2 or 3 inches or may all of a sudden physically develop. You do see that. But how is Iowa State doing it? How is Kansas State, like all these other and not that they're great or gangbusters or anything.
Or no, let's do it from the opposite end. So you're talking about people who recruit 2 and 3 stars. Let's talk about Georgia. Georgia's winning. They have pretty even.
They've had one of the monster recruiting classes
that are comparable to us. The factory that is Alabama keeps winning. Clemson keeps winning. So what's the missing variable here? I mean, they're all going after the same recruits that we're going after that we got. I mean, all of them. They want to pick Ohio State too. I was talking about that watching
Baron Browning hit.
I completely forgot about Baron Browning, and he was a stud in Dallas. Was it Dallas?
I don't remember. Yeah, I don't remember.
But he's a backup at Ohio State. Would he not be starting at middle linebacker for this team right now?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. Right. Yeah. So I mean, we're not developing those 4 or 5 stars they are,
and that goes back to our point about CeeDee Lamb.
Yeah.
If CeeDee Lamb, because here's another question: if Brandon Jones had
and Dobbins, Matthew Miller, you forgot about Dobbins.
J.K. Dobbins as well, right? Like those guys go to these other programs and they live up to their ranking.
Yeah,
most of them.
Yeah, usually.
Not everybody. Because I know Marvin. I don't know how Marvin Wilson's doing. He went to Florida State.
Chase Young's a good example. 5-star.
Chase Young, right? Chase Young. Yeah, they get the development that they're supposed to get. We don't.
Yeah.
Can't do it. Unfortunately, our 2 5-stars were Tyler Owens, who got bumped up. We've seen him really play exclusively only in the TCU game.
I've seen him be in good position. He's just way too young.
And he's young. We don't know where. But I'm saying, in the most recent class, Jordan Whittington's played 1 game. These other, so where it needs to be the staff's mission to make sure that Jordan Whittington is every bit of the football player that he became at Cuero. That Tyler Owens is every bit of the football player that we saw at the end of his high school career. Or else Texas is not back. All right. Like, Texas won't be Texas if you don't have your best. Like, that was what made that 2002 class so iconic with Vince Young and those guys. They played up to their billing.
Yeah.
Yes.
So we won't be back until we win a national championship, honestly. I mean, that's the truth.
That's agreed.
Shout out to our sponsors again as we wrap. Boss's Ranch. They have some new commercials out on their social media. It's a fantastic product. I had some pizza last night with my wife. Definitely utilized this with some of the cheesy bread we had and other products. So it is a great compliment to any salad, anything you're eating that requires ranch. I know some of you guys are ranch head. You're a ranch head.
Alex, we're going to do a Texas Tech prep video, or we'll do a live, one of those, but we'll also be at the game too.
The Texas Tech prep one, we're actually going to do with a Texas Tech fan. My buddy wants to come on and talk.
Chris?
Chris wants to talk. Chris wants to do it, and my buddy Mark wants to talk. So we have two Texas Tech people.
Goddamn round table.
I know a lot of Texas Tech people, but they're like funny Texas Tech fans. Like, they're like, they won't troll or anything. They're like really, really funny about their program. One of them is like the head of the Jet Duffy fan club.
Oh, so this is gonna be a fun conversation. Like, who's gonna be worse? Who's gonna be less worse today?
At some point, we'll have to bring on maybe before the Big 12 championship game, we'll bring on Justin, who's Baylor. Yeah. So, yeah, man, you guys have a wonderful night. Yeah. Everybody that chimed in, when you guys, went in Fort Worth area, try Boss's Pizza, great food along with great ranch dressing.
They have one in New Braunfels.
New Braunfels as well. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, guys, thank y'all. Thank you, everybody that came in and vented with us. Make sure you guys share the content with your friends. We're trying to grow this channel in this space as fellow Texas fans, people that are Texas alum, people that are hurting, just like we are, and that are frustrated and want to see us win.
And even our opposing teams fans. I mean, they some of them really come in and provide good feedback and things like that.
Yeah. If we had any Baylor fans in the chat, I don't know if we had any too many Baylor folks come in and chime in, but congratulations to your football team on the victory and good luck in the Big 12 championship game. So I will be back tomorrow.
Cowboys prep, bro.
Alex, good luck against LSU next week for the Aggies. But I appreciate you.
I don't want to see you win, but I like the content.
Hey,
thanks, Alex.
Honesty's best policy.
Yeah. Matthew, thank you for coming on camera.
No
I know you're more behind the scenes guy, but thank you for all that you do for the channel. And I know the subs appreciate it as well.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Thanks,
guys. Horns always up.